Welcome to today's live reading from Ramayana, the story of Lord Ram. At the moment, we are on the Yuddha Kand, and hopefully we will conclude the Yuddha Kand today, and then it will be just the Uttar Kand to go through to conclude the Ramayana book. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So a lot has happened in the Yuddha Kand. By now, Ravan has been annihilated, and Mother Sita has returned. She has gone through the special so-called Agni Pariksha, like we say in Hindi, and Vibhishan has been declared the king of Lanka, and let's proceed from there. Indra then departed, followed by the demigods, because remember yesterday Lord Rama asked Indra to bring back to life all the monkeys who had given their life fighting for Lord Ram. So Indra then departed, followed by demigods, and the monkeys spent the night in that place. The next morning, Vibhishan came before Ram with numerous maid servants carrying paraphernalia for his bath. However, Ram ordered, "My dear Vibhishan, summon all the monkeys headed by Sugriv. Let them enjoy this royal luxury. As long as I am separated from Bharat, who is practicing severe austerities on my behalf, such opulence does not appeal to me. My only request is that you arrange for me the speedy passage back to Ayodhya. Indeed, to travel there by foot would be an arduous journey." So Lord Ram is again giving us that living example that he is still living by the vow until he has gone back to Ayodhya. He is not going to have any kind of luxuries, because Bharat is also suffering the austerities similar to him. So Bhagwan is Maryada Purushottam. He is man of his word, like they say. Vibhishan replied, "If you will ride in Pushpak chariot, you will reach Ayodhya this very day. However, I humbly request you that yourself, Sita and Lakshman remain here for some time with the army of monkeys, so I may royally entertain everyone before your departure." Ram said, "I certainly cannot refuse your hospitality. However, I am growing increasingly anxious to meet Bharat, Kaushalya and my stepmothers. Therefore, I beg you to permit me to depart without delay." Vibhishan went quickly and brought Ram the Pushpak chariot. This wonderful chariot originally belonged to Kuver before Ravan stole from him. The chariot was constructed from the gold by Vishwakarma with the seats of gems. The wonderful spaceship could travel anywhere, following the mental indication of its driver. Thus, when Ram and Lakshman saw the chariot hovering before them awaiting their command, they were quite astonished. Before departing, Ram requested Vibhishan to present gifts of gold and jewels to all the monkey soldiers. Then Ram mounted the Pushpak chariot with Sita and Lakshman. Addressing the assembly, Ram said, "My dear monkey warriors, there is no way I can repay you for your heroic fighting on my behalf. Your unflinching devotional service will always serve as an inspiration for the future devotees. Thus your glories will forever shine brightly. Now please return to Kishkindhya and live there happily under Sugriv's leadership. Vibhishan, you should accept responsibility for ruling over Lanka immediately, since the citizens are now bereft of their king." Then standing before Ram with folded hands, Sugriv and Vibhishan pleaded, "O Lord, please allow us to accompany you to Ayodhya. After seeing the coronation ceremonies, we shall return home." Ram replied, "Nothing would please me more than to return to Ayodhya with all my dear friends. Therefore, you and all other monkey heroes can board the Pushpak chariot and we will embark immediately." Finally, after all were comfortably seated, the Pushpak chariot rose majestically into the air. While all the monkeys and bears were enjoying the flight, Ram pointed out to the sights to Sita. "Look there at the battlefield where all the heroic Rakshasas lay dead, all killed for your sake. Look, there is where Ravan fell, there is the spot where Kumbhakaran was slain, there is where Indrajit was defeated, and there is where Prahasta died. Over there is the bridge called Nalasetu by which we cross the ocean to Lanka. There on the far shore is the place called Setu Bandha or Rameshwaram, where the bridge construction began. From this time onward, Setu Bandh will be the most sacred place capable of washing away all accumulated sinful reactions." Then as Ram pointed to Kishkindhya, Sita said, "I would be pleased if I could return to Ayodhya in the company of the wives of the monkey chiefs." Happy to grant Sita's request, the chariot halted at Ram's instructed Sugriv and the other warriors to quickly bring their wives. When everyone was seated, their journey continued. Ram pointed out to Sita, "There is Mount Rishyamukh, where I met Sugriv, and nearby you can see heavenly Lake Pampa, which abounds with bluish lotus flowers. There you can see the river Godavari, and on its bank is the ashram of Agastya Rishi. O Sita, there is the spot where Ravan kidnapped you. There is Chitrakoot, where Bharat came to meet me. Over there is river Yamuna, and there is the mighty Ganga, where King Guha's capital lies on the river banks." In this way, Ram, Sita and Lakshman's entire forest life was displayed in reverse order as they retraced their way back to Ayodhya. Finally, the river Saryu came into view, and at last the outskirts of Ayodhya. Before entering the city, however, Ram stopped at the ashram of Bharadwaj Rishi to inquire about his relatives' welfare before meeting them. After happily welcoming Ram, Bharadwaj replied to his inquiries, saying, "In your absence, Bharat has been living a life of severe renunciation, wearing deerskin and tree bark and keeping matted hair. He has been ruling the kingdom as your subordinate by keeping your shoes on the royal throne. O Ram, by dint of my mystic power, I know that you have removed the burden of the earth. Therefore, I would be pleased to award any benediction you desire." Ram happily replied, "Let all the trees along the way to Ayodhya become filled with fruits and flowers. Let streams of honey flow down from the trees, exuding the fragrance of nectar." As soon as his words were spoken, the trees along the way to Ayodhya immediately filled up with sumptuous fruits. Seeing this miraculous transformation, thousands of monkeys quickly jumped down from Pushpak chariot and began feasting to their full satisfaction. Ram was always thinking of how he could reward the monkeys for their selfless service. Thus it pleased him to see them satisfied in this manner. Turning to Hanuman, Ram said, "Please inform Guha of my arrival. Then go to Nandigram and describe to Bharat all the events concerning Sita's abduction and her subsequent recovery. Watch carefully the expression on Bharat's face when he hears of my arrival, then report back to me before we depart from this ashram. If Bharat wishes to rule the kingdom himself, whether due to attachment for the position, power, or royal luxury, or even from Kaikeyi's urging, I will be happy to allow him to do so." So nice of Lord Ram. Well, Lord Ram is not different than Krishna. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. But Lord is giving us the morals, how to live as well in each and every part of his life, whether it's in the forest or coming back home from the battlefield in Lanka to Ayodhya now. Hanuman took a human form and departed. Traveling through the air, he first informed Guha that Ram would come to meet him after spending the night at Bharadwaj's ashram. Upon his arrival at Nandigram, Hanuman saw Bharat dressed in tree bark and wearing matted hair. Bharat was living in a small cottage, subsisting only on fruits and roots, and he appeared to be very miserable and emaciated. Hanuman then approached Bharat, announcing, "I have come as a messenger from Ram. He inquires about your welfare and wishes to inform you that he will soon return to Ayodhya." When he heard these glorious words, Bharat's face immediately lit up with great delight. Then, becoming exhilarated with transcendental emotion, he fainted to the ground. Upon coming to his senses, Bharat stood up and embraced Hanuman with great satisfaction. Then, while bathing Hanuman with torrents of tears, Bharat said, "Because you have brought me this good news, I shall immediately reward you with 100,000 cows, 100 villages, and 16 girls to marry. Now please sit down and tell me everything that happened during Ram's exile." Once Hanuman had finished telling Bharat everything of Ram's exile up to the point of his imminent return, Bharat exclaimed, "My long cherished wish has finally been fulfilled." Bharat then ordered Shatrughna to make all the arrangements for Ram's reception. The Sumantra and other ministers soon arrived at Nandigram riding elephants. Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi then arrived on palanquins, while engineers hurriedly constructed a new road connecting Nandigram with Ayodhya. After all arrangements had been made, Bharat picked up Ram's sandals, a white royal umbrella, and chamars. Then, accompanied by Brahmanas, he left his cottage amidst the blowing of conch shells and the beating of drums. The news of Ram's arrival had spread instantly, and almost the entire population of Ayodhya came to Nandigram, hoping to see him. Bharat was accompanied by ministers, priests, and other respectable citizens, professional musicians vibrating pleasing musical sounds, and the learned Brahmanas loudly chanting the Vedic hymns. Following in the procession were chariots drawn by beautiful horses with harness of golden rope. These chariots were decorated by flags with golden embroidery and by other flags of various sizes and patterns. There were soldiers bedecked with golden armor, servants bearing betel nut, and many well-known and beautiful society girls. Many servants followed on foot, bearing an umbrella, whisks, different grades of precious jewels, and other paraphernalia befitting a royal reception. However, when after some time there was no sign of Ram, Bharat anxiously said to Hanuman, "I pray you are not exhibiting your frivolous monkey nature by joking with me." Hanuman then pointed to the distance where clouds of dust were being raised by approaching monkeys. Then just afar off roaring came to be heard. When Hanuman suddenly sighted the Pushpak chariot in the distance, he shouted, "Here comes Sri Ram." A loud spontaneous cheer suddenly arose from the crowd as the two sighted the Pushpak chariot, which appeared to be just like the full moon rising in the sky. Everyone respectfully got down from their chariots, elephants, and horses as Bharat began worshipping Ram from a distance. With folded hands, Bharat recited praise and glorification of Lord Ram. He offered water and other paraphernalia and worship. Finally, when Bharat could clearly see Ram glowing magnificently in the front of the Pushpak chariot, he bowed down with great reverence. As the celestial airship landed, Bharat rushed forward and climbed onto the chariot to greet his older brother. Ram immediately got up from his seat to embrace Bharat, taking him on his lap. Bharat, his heart softened in ecstasy and his eyes full of tears, approached Lord Ramchandra and fell at his lotus feet with great ecstatic love. Lord Ramchandra saw that Bharat was much emaciated. I don't know why I can't say this word properly today. I beg your forgiveness. And heard that in his absence, his brother was eating only barley cooked in the urine of cow. So we can see how much austerities Bharat endured in the absence of Lord Ram. So this was his way of atonement of the wrong words, wrong demands from his mother Kaikeyi. That was his way of atonement. Covering his body with the bark of leaves, wearing matted locks with hair, and lying on a mattress of kusha grass. The most merciful Lord Ram very much lamented this. Afterwards, Bharat greeted Lakshman and Sita, showering them with praise. He then greeted Sugriv with embracing them, saying, "Although we are four, you are now just like our fifth brother." Meanwhile, Ram approached his mother Kaushalya and lovingly clasped her feet. Then one after another, Ram greeted Sumitra, Kaikeyi, and Vashishta, while all the citizens came forward with the folded hands to welcome him. I don't know why, I can just imagine how it felt in the Ayodhya at that very moment. So it's the tears of joy coming from my eyes. I can just feel the happiness amongst the citizens of Ayodhya, and it's so humbling to read that the Supreme Lord goes through so many austerities to teach us lessons how to live in our lives. But unfortunately, being mere mortals, we don't learn. That's why it's so important to read these things again and again. Accompanied by Sita and Lakshman, Lord Ramchandra then offered his respectful obeisances unto the learned Brahmanas and the elderly persons in the family, and all the citizens of Ayodhya offered their respectful obeisances unto the Lord. The citizens of Ayodhya, upon seeing their king return after a long absence, offered him flower garlands, waved their upper cloths, and danced in great jubilation. Therefore, Bharat came before Ram with Ram's wooden shoes in hand. While carefully placing the slippers upon Ram's lotus feet, Bharat said, "Here is the kingdom I have overseen in your absence. By your mercy, Ayodhya is flourishing, and the treasury, storehouses, and the army all increased tenfold. My duty is now over, and I hereby relinquish everything unto you." After offering the wooden shoes before Lord Ramchandra, Lord Bharat stood with folded hands, his eyes full of tears, and Lord Ramchandra bathed Bharat with tears while embracing him with both arms for a long time. After this, Ram ordered the Pushpak chariot to return to its rightful owner, the god of wealth, Kuver. Thus, the celestial vehicle ascended into the air, heading toward the north. Then, as Ram sat at the feet of his spiritual master Vashisht, Bharat came before him and requested, "My dear elder brother, please install yourself upon the royal throne without further delay and resume a royal life of royal luxury." Lord Ramchandra then entered Ayodhya. In the midst of great festival, he was greeted on the road by the princely order, who showered his body with beautiful, fragrant flowers, while great personalities like Lord Brahma and other demigods glorified the activities of the Lord in great jubilation. The family priest Vashisht had Lord Ramchandra cleanly shaved, freeing him from his matted locks of hair. After bathing, Ram at last again dressed in royal style. So finally, after 14 years, Lord Ram, Sita, and Lakshman, and we can say Bharat also, they have resumed their royal order of life and was decorated with a garland and ornaments. The three mothers similarly adorned Sita, and the wives of the monkeys were similarly dressed and ornamented. I'm sure the mothers, they also went through the lamentation and austerities side by side, because I'm sure the mothers were not happy to see their children going through all these austerities. And likewise, the wives of Bharat and of course Lakshman, and I've read and heard as well that Shatrughan and his wife, they also went through the austerities. So none of them lived comfortably during this time when Lord Ram was in the exile. Next at Shatrughan's command, Sumantra came before Ram with a lavishly decorated chariot. Ram graciously mounted it, and Bharat took up the reins while Shatrughan held the royal white umbrella. On either side of Ram stood Lakshman and Vibhishan, waving a fan and charmer, while from the sky the demigods and celestial rishis glorified Ram with carefully chosen words. As Ram proceeded toward Ayodhya, a huge procession followed him, as all the monkeys, appearing in human form, rode elephants. Thereafter, when Ram entered his capital, he saw how all the citizens had come out of their houses, lining the streets to welcome him, men and women. So this is the important bit, that the monkeys also appeared in the human forms when they were riding through the procession with Lord Ram. Children and the elderly gazed upon Ram as though they were getting back their lost lives. While waving their cloths and jumping with excitement, the people shouted, "Our beloved prince has returned. All glories to Lord Ram, the maintainer of his devotees." Amid the playing of musicians and the chanting of Vedic hymns, Ram glanced lovingly over his subjects. Ram greeted his ministers and described to them his political alliances with the monkeys and Vibhishan. Thus he came to his father's palace. Ram ordered that his own palace be given for Sugriv's use. Bharat then took the monkey king by the hand and led him there. At Bharat's request, Jambuvan, Hanuman, Gavaya and Rishabh brought water from the four seas, while 500 powerful monkeys brought river from 500 sacred rivers. The vessels of water were then placed before Vashisht, and thereafter the rishi seated Ram and Sita upon a throne made of valuable jewels. Assisted by Vamdev, Jabali, Kashyap, Katyayan, Suyajna, Gautam and Vijaya rishis, Vashisht performed the bathing ceremony, that is the Abhishek, like we say, with the first ablutions performed by Brahmanas. Next, Ram was bathed by a girl, followed by his ministers, a little girl in this case, not we shouldn't think of anything wrong here in our heads. The little warriors and Vaishyas, one after another. After the final bathing, Vashisht ordered the four Lokpals and other chief demigods, witnessing the coronation from the sky, to sprinkle Ram with herbs. Then as Ram sat upon the golden throne bedecked with valuable gems, Vashisht placed the royal crown upon his head and decorated his body with golden ornaments. The crown, formerly worn by all the kings in the Ikshvaku dynasty, that is Lord Ramchandra's lineage, was made by Lord Brahma especially for the coronation of Vaivaswata Manu. At Indra's prompting, Vayu placed a garland made from 100 golden lotus flowers around Ram's neck and presented him with a celestial necklace of pearls and gems. Shatrughna held the royal umbrella over Ram's head as Sugriv and Vibhishan fanned him from both sides. Thereafter, as Gandharvas sang and Apsaras danced in ecstasy, Ram gave in charity 100,000 cows, 300 million gold coins and all varieties of precious jewels to the Brahmanas. Ram presented Sugriv with a celestial necklace and gave Angad a pair of bracelets adorned with diamonds and precious stones. Ram presented Sita with a necklace of previously given to him by Vayu, along with many lavishly decorated dresses. Sita desired to present Hanuman with a gift as a token of her appreciation for all he had done for her. With this in mind, she unclasped the necklace Ram had given her and looked toward Ram questioningly. Understanding her intention, Ram requested Sita to present the necklace to Hanuman. Thus she happily placed it around his neck. Thereafter, all the monkey chiefs were giving valuable clothing and ornaments. In this way, Ram's coronation came to a successful conclusion. Completely satisfied at the heart, the monkeys returned to their respective kingdoms, while Vibhishan returned to Lanka. When everyone had taken their leave, Ram said to Lakshman, "My dear brother, now that I have been installed upon the throne, I wish to install you as my heir apparent. I think I'm very ecstatic as well, so forgive any flaws in the reading. Not that I don't have any flaws in the past as well, but I think I'm making more mistakes. Despite being urged repeatedly in this way, Lakshman remained silent, for he refused to accept the proposal. Ram could well understand the mind of Lakshman. Thus he finally conferred the honor upon Bharat. So we can see Lakshman has declined to be given the honor of the heir apparent. He doesn't want that. He just wants to be the servitor of Lord Ram, and instead that honor has been conferred upon Bharat now. Ram ruled the earth from his capital Ayodhya for 11,000 years. During that time, he performed many sacrifices, including 100 horse sacrifices during the reign of Lord Ram. The forests, the rivers, the hills and mountains, the states, the 7 islands and 7 seas were all favorable in supplying the necessities of life for all living beings. All bodily and mental suffering, disease, old age, bereavement, lamentation, distress, fear and fatigue were completely absent. There were no widows to lament the loss of their husbands, nor were there any diseases or thieves. Indeed, even wild animals gave up their natural enmity and did not kill one another. All the citizens were fully righteous, always looking toward Ram as their Lord and Master. Beyond that, they saw Ram as their life and soul. Everyone lived for thousands of years and had thousands of sons. There was even no death for those who did not want it. All talk centered around Ram alone, thus the entire earth appeared as if transformed into the kingdom of God Vaikuntha. So the kingdom looked like Vaikuntha. It was the kingdom of God. Love and Kusha then concluded their narration. Anyone who listens daily to this wonderful story known as Ramayana will become free from all sinful reactions. This sacred narration grants prowess, longevity and victory to those who subdue their passions and hear it with faith. The reader of this Ramayana, if a woman will receive sons, if a king will conquer the earth, if a traveler will reach his destination, and if a sinful person will be purified. So we should remind ourselves that when we started, actually Love and Kush had come to the palace of Lord Ram and they were narrating this Ramayana to Lord Ram. Remember, he was doing that Ashwamedh. He was trying to perform that yagya. And Sita Mata was not there. A statue of hers was placed there. That was in the beginning of the reading. So thus end the Yuddha Kand, and next time we will commence from the Uttar Kand. So thank you for joining. It's been absolutely delightful reading today to read about the homecoming of Lord Ram and to read about the austerities and the hardships the whole family, the whole clan of Ram went through, and just to hear that Lord Ram has finally heard the whole narration from his sons Love and Kush, and it's like a full circle been completed, and I'm looking forward to continue from the Uttarakhand next time. Thank you for joining. Hariam Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.